So let's look at iterations in this chapter. So iterations are used for repeating identical or similar tasks without making errors. Okay, so that's the idea of iterations. So we have three different kind of iterations, not in just C++. In other programming language we have same concept. So we have for loop, while loop, and do while loop. All right. So for the for loop, this is the syntax for having a for loop in your C++ code, and the keyword we use is the for, and then we need to initialize the expression. So that's the first thing we need to do. We need to initialize the expressions, and then we have condition. Here we use relational operators: less than, greater than, less than equal to, greater than equal. These are the relational operators we use here. And then the third one is the update expression. Sometimes we also name it as step. Okay, so that's this is how the loops works. We need to update the expression, we need to take the steps so that we can follow these conditions. So we will see an example, you'll get an idea of this, how this works. That we have condition expression, and then we also have the step. All right. So the flow of for loop is that we start our for loop body, and we need to initialize the expression. That's the first thing we need to initialize. We can initialize from 0, we can initialize from minus values, we can also initialize from float values. That is again depend on the software that we are trying to make. All right. So first we need to do is to initialize the expression, and we need to look at the condition. Okay, the condition. Here's the condition. That's the in the middle. That's the condition we have. That could be less than, greater than, less than equal to, greater than equal to. That's the idea. We put conditions here. We need to look at the condition here. We need to look at the condition here. If condition is true, then we can go inside the loop body. Inside the loop body means that that's the opening curly bracket and that's the closing curly bracket. So we can go inside the loop body. So we look at the initialization here, we look at the condition here. If condition is true, we can go inside the loop body. Condition true means that we have 0 or 1. 0, you now familiar with 0 means off, and 1 means on. True. And relational operators return true or false, 1 or 0. So that's when condition is true, you can go inside the loop body. All right. So we have initialized, we need to initialize the expression. We look at the condition. If condition is true, we can go inside the loop body, and we can execute block of statements inside the loop body. We can have n number of statements inside the for loop body. All right. And then we need to update the expression. Okay, so that's the third part here. That's the third part here, that we need to update the expression here. That could be the step. Okay, that could be the step with 1, maybe 2. Based on scenarios, we select the step. Okay, so we need to update the expression, because at some point we need to stop the loop, otherwise it will continuously run an infinite time. Okay, and takes all the memory that we have. Clear? So we three steps you need to think about in iterations. We need to initialize the expression, we need to look at the conditions, and we again need to, with the third one is we need to look at the step. All right, because we need to stop the loop. So we have initialize conditions. If condition is true, you can go inside the loop body, update the expression. If condition is false, then the loop will stop. Okay, and then it will loop stop. So it will come to the stop point. All right. So now let's look at the very basic very first one, for loop that just print 1 to 5. So you see now this is a repetitive task, and if I do not use loop, then there is another way of doing the same thing. Let me show you the other way, and then I will show you how can we use loops in our program to do these repetitive tasks, and also to make our program a little more faster compared to manually assigned values, hard-coded values. All right. So I'm going to create a new file, and now you're familiar with the interface of Visual Studio Code. So I'm going to create a new folder inside here. So that folder is let's say this is chapter 4. All right. And inside this folder, I'm going to create a new file that is for, instead of for loop, let's name it iterations, because I also need to teach you while loop and do while loop. So let's name it iterations.cpp. C plus cpp, C++ extension. And now you are already familiar with this header section, input and output stream, and we use namespace std to not to use that part std in front of objects that we have seen and cout. So int main, and now let's first look at the for loop, and then we do the same thing using manually assigning values, okay, and see the same output. So the idea is how can we use this for loop and how it's efficient in our C++ code. Okay, so the keyword we know is the for. Okay, then we have these parentheses, opening curly bracket and closing curly bracket. All right, and we need to do three steps. The first step is just go back again here. We need to initialize the expression. Okay, so I'm saying that my loop will start from int. Let's say my variable name is I. Okay, it starts from 0. Okay, that's the initialization. And my condition, this is my condition, that I'm saying that I will run less than 5. Okay, so you can also use less than equal to. So these are the relation operators we can use in for loops. Less than, greater than, less than equal to, greater than equal to. All right, and the third thing is that we have no condition. So these two things are clear, that loop will start from 0, it will run less than 5. So that's mean we have 5 iterations: 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, not 5 because it is less than 5. Okay, if I include this one less than equal, then it will be 6 iterations. And the step is I plus plus. Okay, so this I plus plus mean is I is equal to I plus 1. Okay, so this is a short form of doing the same thing. And if let's say you have step 2, then that will be I is equal to I plus I is equal to I plus 2. Okay, so that's the idea. So I plus plus. So now the step is 1. All right, and inside the loop body I'm going to print I value is, and just concat the variable we have and then enter. All right, and now let's run this one. It will print 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and then we also do a little dry run to understand how it works. But let's see an output first. You see, so we have 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now let me explain that how it works. All right, let me remove this command, and I'm going to put few comments here, and let's, instead of having 5 iterations, let me run for 3 iterations so I can make this easy to understand with just 3 iterations: 0, 1, 2. So how it prints 0, 1, 2. So now let's look at how it works. I from 0. Okay, initial value I is equal to 0, right? 0 is less than 3. Okay, so this is how loop works. 0 is less than 3, condition is true. 0 is less than 3, condition is true. That means it will now go inside the loop body. So now we are inside the loop body. That's mean from this opening curly bracket to this closing curly bracket. So now we are inside the loop body. Make sense? And exactly the same way we have here. If you need to look at the condition, if condition is true, you can go inside the loop body and execute the block of statements we have inside the loop body. And here we only have one statement on line 9. That's mean we just need to print the value of I, and the current value of I is 0. Okay, so we are now here. See out I value is, it will print the I value and then break the line. So this is the output we have. I value is 0. Yes, true. And now we are here at line 10. Line 10 mean now we need to, now again look at the flowchart. We need to go back to update the expression. Okay, so we are now here at here, because this is the step, and this is also we need to update the expression. Exactly same way we have here, update the expression, and that's the step. All right, so we need to update the step, and step is the previous value was I was 0, but now it is 1, because I is equal to I plus plus mean I is equal to I plus 1. Okay, so now we now need to go to the second iteration. Now the new value is I is equal to 1. 1 is less than 3, condition is again true, and that's mean we can go inside the loop body and we can execute now line 10. Again I value is 1, and we are here at line 11. All right, and the next step is, now you're already familiar, now we again need to update the expression. The third step, we are now here, update the expression, and now the previous value was I was 1, now it will be 2. Okay, and now let me move to the last iteration. So now 2, now current value of I is 2, 2 is less than 3, condition is again true. I is equal to 2 and 2 is less than 3, condition is again true, and we can now execute line 11, and that's the output. I value is 2. All right, makes sense. Now we again need to go back to update the expression here, and now previous value was 2 and the new value is 3. All right, now we have I is 3, 3 less than 3, and now condition is false and the loop will stop. Okay, now this is how loop stop. We need to look at the condition and the step, condition, step, condition, step. Now loop is false, it will stop. Okay, it will not print anything. And other than loops, let's say I need to do the same stuff, and this is how I can do. Int I is equal to 1, and then int b is equal to 2, and then int c is equal to 3, and this process continues. Just for painting these 3 variables, that means I need to use now 3 more statements: cout, 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 cout I, cout b, cout c, and it will print 1, 2, 3. But let's say I need to run this loop, how many iterations? Maybe 100 iterations, or maybe 10,000 iterations, maybe 10,000 iterations. So you can run as many iterations you want, because it's just doing repetitive tasks, repetitive tasks, repetitive tasks. All right, so this is how we use for loop in programming languages. We have the first thing is we need to initialize. This is the condition, we use relation operator there, and then that's the step. Now let me show you the step. Let's run this just 20 iterations. It's not just mean that you can only use I is equal to I plus plus, that is I is equal to I plus 1. Now let's make it I is equal to I plus 2. Okay, so it's 0, it will print, it will first print 0, and then the second will be 4, sorry, it's 2, 4, 6. This is how it works now. All right, now let's run this one and see the output. You see we have 0, 2, 4, 6. So you can change this step based on scenarios. We select this step, okay, based on scenarios. All right, now look at this example. Now you're familiar with this is initializations, and this is the condition. So this condition is less than equal to 5, less than equal to 5, that means including 5, start from 1. Again, this loop has 5 iterations because it starts from 1. So you can start from 0, start from 1. Again, based on scenarios, we select this, we need to initialize, we need to select this value. All right, now your task is to write a for loop to print numbers from 10 to 1. Okay, now this is interesting, that look at this loop. We can also start, we can, if we have a positive step I plus plus, we can also have a negative step I minus minus. Okay, let me show you this example. So we have for, and opening curly bracket, closing curly bracket. This is the task that we have, and let me code this one. Int I start from 10. You see, now we have different problem. Instead of initializing from 0, so we are saying int I is equal to 10. So you must be thinking why we have int inside. So you can have it here also, and also could put outside int I, just to declare outside, and do not use int here. It's your choice. So I'm just trying to say a few lines, and also let me comment this one, because they will create a conflict with this variable I start from 10, and I less than, no, not less than. You see, now I need to use I if I greater than equal to 0. Okay, and then I minus minus minus. Okay, and inside the loop body I'm going to use, now this print runs from 10 to 1, cout, and I will also explain, I will explain few iteration, but you get the idea that if I can use the positive step, we can also use the negative step. Cout, and that would be I is, and let me concat this variable and L to break the line, and let me run this one. You see, let me move this terminal. You see now 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Okay, so now we have step that is subtracting values. Okay, so now let's try to run this. I'll just run a few iterations. It's called dry run in programming languages. I'm going to use just 3 iterations just to explain the idea. So I is equal to 10. Okay, this is we have the initialization. Now 10 greater than 0 condition is true, right? 10 is greater than 2. I'm looking at this condition. So we again need to look at the condition, then we can go inside the loop body. So 10 is greater than 0. Yes, it's true, and we are here. We can execute this line. And now the next step is to update the expression. Update the expression means that update the step. And the step is now I minus minus. That's when the previous value of I was 10. Previous value I was 10, and now I minus minus. That means we need to just subtract 1. That is now new value is I is 9. Okay, the new value is I is 9. So now we no longer have 10 here because we are now in the second iteration. So this was the first iteration. Okay, this is the first iteration, and now we're in the second iteration, and new value is I of I is 9. 9 is greater than 0. Condition is again true. You see, I is equal to 9, and 10, 9 greater than 0. Condition is true. We get inside the loop body, and it will print, let me show you output. It will print 9. This line we have in the terminal. Okay, and condition 9 is greater than 0, true. The previous value of I was 9. Okay, previous was 9, and new value is previous was 9, and the new value is now 8. Okay, and this is the second iteration. 8 is greater than 0. Condition is again true. We can go inside the loop body, run. Okay, and then we have the third iteration. 7 greater than 0, true. We go inside them. 8 is greater than 0, true. 6 is greater than 0. 5 greater than 0. And then we have 3, 2, 1, and then it will become negative number. Negative number will not be greater than 0, false, and the loop will stop. I think now it's clear to you that we can use this. We can also add the value. The step can be positive, step can also be negative. Okay, and based on scenarios we select these values. Again, based on scenarios we select these values. And now let's look at what we have. So that was the task. Now sum of the first n natural numbers. Okay, so exactly the same way we can also override values inside the loop body. Okay, override the values. And now it's saying sum of first n natural number. So that means we need to take these values from user. So now let me delete this terminal so we can have an output clear. So we have cout. Let me declare the first value. Int n. What variables? Let's say that's the variable n, and the sum we initialize it from 0. Okay, because we don't have any sum, and we can always initialize values when we do these kind of stuff like addition, subtractions. We initialize from 0 and cout, and we can say enter n. Okay, and that's the first value, and we're going to store this to n. And then see, now I'm going to use loop for int j. I do not have any declaration of j, so that's just a variable. I start from 0. Let's start from 0. J less than equal to n. Okay, instead of using manually assigning value, I'm going to take this value from user. Okay, so I'm saying you need to run j less than equal to n. Whatever the user will enter, I will run this loop until that iteration, until at that number. Okay, and then j plus plus, and let's cout. No, instead of cout, we're going to sum these values. So the sum will be equal to that. Let's use the short form, that is sum plus equal to j. Okay, that's is exactly same. That is equal to sum is equal to sum plus j. Both are same. Okay. And now let's see what happens. Let's run this loop. So let's say let me show you how it looks like. So let's say I want to have the sum of first four natural numbers. Okay, first four natural numbers, that is 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we start the loop from 0. Okay, so that will be sorry, that the first iteration will be 0 plus 1, and the second iteration will be 1 plus 2, and the third iteration will be 3 plus 3, and the fourth iteration will be 4 plus 6. Okay, and the sum will be 10. Hopefully, let's run this one, and we also dry run, and you can get an idea. I will run very few iterations so you get an idea how it works. Now let me run this one. So n number is 4, the first 4 in the natural number. Oh, so we did the sum we need to show, and let me show outside, and I'll also explain why it's outside. There is some. All right, let me put some message, and that sum is okay. That's just a message just to show. Okay, now again 4, and we got 10. You see, this is how it works. Now let me explain how it works. That must You need to know this concept is very important, because again we need to override the values, and we also have seen in conditions that we can also override values that are very important, okay, in your programming career, to override values based on scenarios. Now let's run this one. All right, so I'm going to dry run this one, and int j from 0. So I enter, let me also put this 4 here. So I enter 4. Okay, so int j is equal to 0. J start from 0, and j 0 is less than 4, because I just use n as a 4. So this is hard coded here. Now n is 4. N is equal to 4. So that's mean we always have 4 iterations. So it's not dynamic. That's mean I hard coded this value from user, and it's 4. It runs 4 iterations, that's for sure. Now 0 is less than 4. The condition is true. Okay, now we are inside the loop body, and on line 29 we have sum that is will be equal to sum plus j, previous value of sum plus j. Okay, the previous value of sum 0, and now its new value is also 0. Again 0, nothing will happen. Okay, so you can also start from 1. That also makes sense, but let's continue to run this one. Now 1, the next iteration is the new value of j is now j is the new value. Previous was 0, because we have no step, and the new value is 1. Okay, 1 less than 4. Okay, this is second iteration. 1 less than 4, true. What is previous value of sum? Previous value of sum was 0. Now 1 plus 0, that's the thing we have here. Okay, now we are saying that assign new value, which is sum is equal to sum plus j, that is now 1, to some variables. Now this no longer 0, now it's 1. Okay, this is now 1. Let me put a comment, and that is now not here, here. Now this is 1. Now we have we have another iteration. Okay, and j was 1. We already done j1. Now let's run 2. I just skipped this one. There is another iteration that I just missed, not put in a comment, but let me now run the third iteration. That is now j is 1. Now j is 2. Okay, 2 is less than 4, condition is true. Now previous value was 1, so that's we don't need to do that. So now first we need to go inside the loop body. Sum is equal to sum plus j. The previous value of sum is now 1, no longer 0, it's 1, and the new value of j is 2. Okay, so that's 2 plus 1, this is 2 plus 1, and that is the new value is 3. Okay, so that's the thing. We done that one, and now we are here on line 31. That's mean the out the closing curly bracket of for loop. That's mean we need to go back and to change the step, and the step is j plus plus, and the previous value of j is 2, and the new value of j will be 3. Okay, we need update the step. Okay, 3 is less than 4, condition is true. Okay, 3 is less than 4, less than equal, so this is less than equal, we'll also make it known, so this is less than equal, 3 is less than 4, condition is true, and we are again here on line 30, and we are saying sum is equal to sum plus j again, and the previous value of sum is 3. Now the new value of j is 3. 3 plus 3, that will be equal to 6. Now sum, we again override the value of sum, now it's 6. Okay, now it's new is 6. And now we again line 31, we need to do the step, because we are now outer curly bracket. Outer means the closing curly brackets. When you are here, that means you need to update the step, and the previous value was 3. Now the new value will be previous value was 3. Now the new value will be 4. 4 less than 4, no, that's false, but that is also equal, less than equal, because we have less than and equal to 4. Okay, and that will be 4. Condition is true. Okay, we can go inside the loop body, and if you go inside the loop body, that means the previous value of sum, that is again we need to override the value. The previous value was 6, and now 6 plus j, 6 plus the new value of j is 4. All right, and we now again override the value, that is 10. Okay, that is 4 plus 6, 10. All right, and we are here, and we need to do the step, and the step will change the j value from 4 to 5, and the 5 is not less than equal to 4. Now the loop will stop, and it will not go inside the loop body, and will not override the value of sum. Okay, this is how it's working. Now instead of using from 0, we can start from 1, and it will, the result now will be not 10. Okay, result, if I enter 4, it's 10. 1, yes, it start from here. Okay, start from here. We again have how many? 1, 2 and 3. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Again we have 4 iterations. Before we have 5 iterations. Start from 0, but it's not making any impact. Now we have 4 iterations, still doing the same job. I just missed this one, that actually we don't need to have it 0 plus 0. Okay, that we don't need. Start from 1. Okay, because it was start from 0 plus 0, nothing, we did nothing, we just override the value from 0 to 0. Not make any sense, so we can start from 1. All right, now let me show you one thing. If we move this value, so we override the, whenever you override the value, it should be outside the curly bracket. If you're using condition, it should be outside. If you're using loop, that should be outside. If you put this inside here, for every iteration it will show you the result. For every iteration it will show you the current result. That's the thing this program will do. But we don't need to show the result for every iteration. We need to show the total result at the end of this loop, that will be outside. Let me show you how it looks like. If I put this out inside, for every iteration it will show you the current result. Okay, and it will print the same thing. It will print these same things: 0 plus 1, 1 plus 2, 3 plus 3, 4 plus 6 for every iterations. You see, the sum is 1, the sum is 3, the sum is 6, sum is 10. Okay, even though we have the sum, but for every iteration it's showing the result. We need to move this outside. That you need to know. Okay, all right, now print multiplication table of a number. That's easy. Again, let me comment almost these all stuff, and I'm going to start from again for multiplication of table. Okay, we can also take this value from user. You can make it now. dynamic by taking these value from user, but let me start from hard-coded values. Int m from 1, because I'm not going to print 12. Let's say I'm going to print a multiplication table of 12, that will be 12 into 0, that will be 0. I'm not going to make that, so I'm going to start from 1. M initialization, and m less than equal to, let's say we just need to print 10 values, 10 iterations, so you can change based on scenarios. And then m plus plus, and I need a table int, let's say t start from 12. I need a table of 12, and cout, that will be let's put this one x here and t here. Okay, that will be 12 into, okay, I'm going to put some spaces, and 12 into m. Okay, I'm not doing multiplications, is that x is a string. Okay, I'm just trying to make this table beautiful. And now that will be t into m. Okay, and then NDL. So this how it looks like. It will be 12 into 1, 12 into 2, 12 into 3, and then it also print the result. Let me show you. Okay, everything is fine. The only thing is here. I also need to put one more, because you see it's saying 12. The results are fine, 1 2 3 4, but there's no separation. I'm going to put one separation here. That will be here. All right, just to make it clear that what we have. You see, now it's working fine. Let me show you. Here you can see here. All right. You see now 12 into 1, 12 into 2, 12 into 3, the same thing. That's the message I was trying to print. Okay, and the variable we have t, because t is 12, that is just an x. That's a string, just a character, but it's a string. And we have this m is changing for each iterations, and then we just did a multiplication there. All right, now let's move it back, and let me delete this terminal. Okay, because now we have a lot of outputs, and make it clear for. All right, so then print even numbers between 1 and 20. That's a modulus operation we use. If we divide a number with 2, if the remainder is 0, that number is even. If the remainder is 1, that number is odd. Okay, so that's the only condition that we have. If we take the modulus with the number, if it is equal to 0, that will be even. Otherwise it will be odd number. Okay, now program print all odd numbers between 1 and n. So if you just need to print odd numbers, so you can only need to change this condition. That will be if we take the modulus with 2, that is saying equal to 0, that will be not equal to 0, that means it will be 1. If it is not equal to 0, that those numbers will be odd numbers. Okay, let me show you this one, because you see, based on scenarios, I'm using these relational operators for. Okay, first I will show you even numbers, and then I will show you odd numbers. Int j is equal to 0. I'll start from 0. Okay, and j less than equal to 10. Okay, and j plus plus, and the condition is if j, we take the modulus with 2 is equal to 0, those number will be even numbers. Okay, though no need to display any message. I'm just going to display j and also break the line. Everything nice. Let me run this one. It will print 0 up to 10. Okay, including 0. 0 is also an even here. Okay, that's the even number we have. And this program is saying equal to 0. That's mean if we just change it to not equal to 0, now it will print it will print odd numbers. Those are 1, 3, 5 up to 9. Okay, you see 1, 3, 5, 9. All right, now let's look at what we have. Program may print all numbers. Okay, that's we just did. Now your task, print multiples of 3. Write a sequence that uses a for loop to print all multiples of 3 between 1 and 30. Okay, so that's it will start from 1 here, and that will be 30 here, and if it is 3, and that will be equal to 0, it will print number multiplied by divisible by 3. Okay, so we have these numbers. Okay, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. That was an easy. Now let's look at more what this program is doing. Enter number seen n less than n, and step is okay. The difference is this, the step is 2 here. Okay, the step is 2, that means it will print 1, 3, 5. So it's also printing odd numbers because step is 2, it start from 1, the second number will be 3, again step is 2, that will be 5, step is 2, 7, 9. So that's another way of printing odd numbers, but that's not a logic, it's just we are just playing tricks with odd numbers. Logic is there, that was a logic that we have. All right, now nested for loops. So we can also have a loop, nested loops, because that's mean loop inside another loop. So how it works, let me explain this code, and the output will be this one. Okay, and you get an idea that how nested for loops works, and we need to keep track of when the inner loop will stop. Okay, so you can remain inside the inner loop body as long as the condition is true. That's the only difference you need to consider. So that does not mean that you can only have just nested two loops. You can have n number of loops inside. Okay, let me just try this one, and we see. I will do a try run again. Okay, because these concepts are very important in programming languages. Loops, functions, arrays, conditions are easy. I always say the conditions are easy. You just need to know the syntax and condition. You get an idea how to use conditions, but you need to know these concepts that are very important: loops, conditions, arrays, and functions. Okay, to make modular programming. Now for now, let me type this one. Instead of taking this value from user, I'm going to use the hard coded values. Okay, for opening curly bracket parentheses, and now you need familiar. We need to initialize int j from equal to 1 and j less than equal to, let's say, 4 rows. Okay, so this program is saying rows mean these are the rows we have: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to make a very small triangle with just 4 rows, and the step is j plus plus. Okay, and then for inner loop body, and then we have int m start from 1 and m less than equal to 3. Let's see this program, what this program is doing, and then we see, because I'm thinking it should be less than j, but anyway, let's continue. M plus plus and cout, we're going to print this star. Okay, and outside this inner loop body, I'm going to break the line and L, and let's see what happens. Okay, so that's not the triangle we are, you see, that's what I'm saying. So now this program is very simple. So we j is 1 is less than 4. Yes, we are inside the loop body, we are inside the outer loop body. Okay, let's make it O, and let's make it I, inner loop body, and let's change these variable also, so you can make it clear for you to understand what's going on with these nested loops. And let's make it I, let's make it I, and let's also make it I. Okay, we're not going to print these variables, we just use star. Okay, and everything again will be same. Star 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 star. Okay, let me run this one. Outer loop body, outer loop body is start from 1. This is the first thing. 1 is less than 4. That's the condition we have, less than equal to 4. Okay, condition is true. We are now inside the loop body, we are now inner loop body here. We cannot come out of this loop body as long as the condition is true. That's the idea. Okay, I start from 1 and 1 less than equal to 3, 1 less than equal to 3, and this 3 is a hard coded value. That means we always need to run 3 iterations, because we cannot come out of this loop body as long as this condition is true. We are here, so we'll remain there for 3 iterations. So these are the 3 iterations: 1 star, second star, third star. You see, 1 star, second star, third star, and now 4, it will become 4, 4 less than equal to 3, condition false, the inner loop will terminate. And we are here on line 49, that's saying break the line, and we have now break the line, and now we again here. The previous value of outer loop was 1, now it's 2. Okay, 2 is less than 4, condition is true, we are inside the loop body, and we always need to run 3 iteration, because this loop is saying that you need to always run 3 iteration, because it's I less than equal to 3. Okay, so it will print 1 2 3, one time again, break the line, and now again we outer loop body, it will print these 3. The previous value of I was, sorry, o was 2, now it's 3. 3 less than equal to 4, condition is true, we are inside the loop body, outer loop body, and inside outer loop body we again have a loop that always need to run 3 times. We will remain there as long the condition is 3, as long the condition is true, and this is condition is true, and it will run again 3 times, it will print these 3 stars. And then it is now 4, 4 is again less than 4, condition is again true, we go inside, it will print this one. And then 5, 5 is less than equal to 4, no, condition is false. If outer loop stops, then we cannot go inside the inner loop body, because once condition is true, then we can go inside. So we cannot now go inside because the outer loop is false, it will stop. And for that triangle, you just need to move this to O. Okay, now let's see, now this condition is not hard coded values, now it based on scenario, not based on scenario, it dynamically change what is new current value of O. So now again let's start from 0. O is 1, 1, and condition is true, 1 is less than 4, yes, condition is true, we are inside the loop body here. And 1, I value is 1, we initialize from 1. 1 less than equal to O. O is 1, 1 is not less than 1 but is equal to 1. That means we can go inside the loop body and we just print 1 star. Okay, and we are here, and we need to update the step. Step is previous value was 1 and now new value is 2. 2 is less than equal to 1. No, condition is false, so this loop will terminate and we break the line. Okay, we break the line. Let me also print hard, uh, let me print also the output, it will just print 1 star. Okay, now we are here and we need to do the step. The previous value was 1, now outer loop value is now 2. Okay, that means this is 2, that means we initialize this O to 2. But let's run this one. 2 is less than 4, true, we are inside the loop body. I is 1, 1 less than O is 2, this is O is 2, condition is 2, we go inside the loop body, we print 1 star. Okay, we go inside the loop body and print star. We are here, we need to do step. Step is previous value was 1, now it's 2. 2 is less than 2, now 2 is less than equal to 2, now it's true, so that's mean we have 1 more star. Okay, and now we again need to do step to inner loop body. Okay, because we need to terminate the inner loop body. it has to stop. Now 3, I is 3, 3 less than 2, condition is false, 3 is also not equal to false. So now the inner loop stop, and we have this break line. That means we now move the cursor to next line. Okay, that's the cursor. Let me put a cursor here. So that means we need to move the cursor to the next line, and we are here, and we need to do the step, and the previous value was 2, now it's 3. So that means now we have 3. Now in the loop will run 3 times, I less than equal to 3, and it will do the same things that we have. It will now print star star star. Okay, this is how it's working. Let me run and show you the output. You see now this, we have 4 rows. Okay, so that outer loop have 4 rows, and in the loop just printing stars. Why these stars? These stars has nothing to do with any software development. It's just to give you an idea how nested for loop works. Okay, and it's, again, I'm saying it's not just 2 loops. You can have multiple loops, not just 2. You can have multiple loops. And let me look at what we have. Okay, so that's the thing that we just covered, and now your task is now to print this in this direction. Okay, this is also a triangle, but you again need to build a logic. So we have 5 stars, then we have 4 stars. That means these are 5. Now we have 4. Maybe we need to use I minus minus instead of I plus plus. You need to think about this one. For the while loop keeps executing the block of code as long as the condition inside the parentheses is true. So these are the parentheses. If this condition is true, it keep executing the same code again and again, exactly the same way we have for the for loop. Okay, the only difference, oh, I'm not going to say this one. The difference is we now have only the condition. Okay, let me comment this one, and let me show you the difference. For the while loop, the keyword we use is while. Okay, and this is the condition we have, I less than equal to 5. Okay, so we do not have any step here. We cannot initialize here, so that's the difference. And the step will be inside step, and let's first initialize outside. So int I is equal to 1. Okay, the same thing, the while loop also do the same stuff, but we need to initialize outside. While loop only have condition here inside, and the step will be inside the loop body. That will be I is equal I plus plus, or I is equal to I plus plus, I is equal to I plus 1, and then let's see out I. Okay, and see out and then, okay, I use 2 statements. You can also do a concatenation here. So it will print 1 3 1 2 3 4 5, including 5. It's less than equal to 5. Okay, 1 less than equal to, where is 1 less than equal to 5. And if we start from 0, what will happen? Looks like the output is mixed together. Okay, it's confusing. I think the terminal was showing something wrong. Okay, it's saying 2 3 4 5. It should show 1 2 and 3. I less than, it should print 1 here, and then let me, why it's not printing 1. So we have the right output. Okay, the only problem is this terminal is a little confusing. You see, I start from 0, it's now showing 0 1 2 3 4 5. I don't know why this 1 was not, I cannot see 1 there when I minimize. Oh, looks like the 1 is here. Anyway, we have the correct output. Okay, no need to worry. Should print 1 2 3 4 5. You see, now we have the same output 1 2 3 4 5. But when I minimize, this terminal is showing 2 3 4 5. Something is wrong with the terminal, but we have the right output. Okay, don't need to worry anything. So doing exactly the same thing that we familiar with uh, doing for loop. Okay, but I have no idea. Maybe I can, if I move it. Yes, you see. Okay, okay, okay. Oh, this, if you just make it a little bigger, it's showing the right output. All right, this is strange. This is my first time experiencing this one. Anyway, let's move on. We have sum of numbers 1 to 10, exactly the same thing. You can put this inside the loop body and then increment. The step is again inside. Before that, we have step for loop inside the parentheses of for loop, but here the step is inside. Find the smallest number between number divisible by both 3 and 7 between 1 and 100. Okay, that's your task. You need to do that. And now another example of while is that keep passing the same password again and again, string password. So this is a constant string variable that cannot be changed. While true means that it's always true. Okay, and it's keep asking the password same again and again, again and again. And if password whatever the user entered, you see we have this scene inside the while loop body. See, what enter the password, see in the password we assign the value to this variable, and if password is equal to this cpp123, then access granted and break. Now we have something new, that is break and continue. Okay, so then break, then stop the loop. Okay, in other words, we forcing the loop to stop because the loop is always true. So the break is used to stop the loop. Okay, and I will give you an example of break and continue, but this is how it works, that we take this value inside the loop body and will keep running, keep running as long this password is exactly the same cpp123. All right, break and continue. We use break statement is used to exit the loop prematurely when a certain condition is met. Okay, certain condition is met, exactly the here, if this condition is met, stop. And here the break is used int I is equal to 1, I is equal to 10. That means it needs to run, we are saying that you need to run 10 iterations, but we are saying if condition is I is equal to 5, when your I values is equal to 5, you need to break means that exit the loop when value is 5. So that means it will not run 6 7 8 9 and 10. Okay, so that's the idea of break. And then we have continue. Continue is just skipping the value. So let's say if we have the same thing, I is equal to 5, and we have continue, it should print 1 2 3 4 6 7 8 9 10, and it will skip 5. Okay, that's the idea of continue. All right, now your task is sum of even and odd numbers. Okay, so we have even and odd numbers using a while loop. That's your task. Okay, we also do this in the class, do a little practice here. All right, now the only thing, the last iteration, that is do while. So there's a little difference between while and do while. So we have for loop, we haven't, let me just give you a little idea, just to repeat again the steps we have at the for loop. We need to initialize condition expression. We have three things to do for the for loop. For the while loop, we 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 have just condition. Okay, that's when we need to initialize outside, and the step will be inside, and the condition is here, and loop will run as long as this is true. And the last one is do while. For the do while loop is that runs the code at least once. Okay, and then keeps repeating as long as the condition is, again we have the condition, but it will run it will run at least once. That's the idea of while loop. Okay, difference, do while checks the condition after running once. That's just I said, it will run at least once and then it checks the conditions. For the while loop, it will check the condition, then if it's true, then it will execute the code. And that's the comparison again. Do, it will print hello, it will run at least once and then fast, and this is the condition here. If it is false, then it stop. And for the while loop, if it is false, we cannot go inside. Okay, and that's an example. And here we're doing exactly the same thing. I is equal to 1, and do it will print I 1 2, because the condition, this is the condition here, I is less than equal to 5. That means it will run 5 conditions. Oh, 5 iterations. 1 2 3 4 5, stop. Okay, but even it's run at least one, even if we, let's say less than equal to if we, even if we put 0, it will print 1. Okay, and sum of numbers keep asking. So now where we use do while loop, some scenarios practical, and for this one, this program is keep asking this number. Okay, so it will keep asking the number to add numbers. Okay, and when user will enter 0, it will stop. Okay, now if you just look at the condition here, the condition is number is equal to not 0. So that's mean this is the condition we have. That's mean this loop will continue running. Is kind of always true, continue running, that is not equal to 0. Let's say if user enter 1 4 5 16 19 18 16, whatever the user will enter, it will keep running because it's not equal to 0. But as long when user enters 0, it will stop and it will give you the sum. Okay, now let me run this one and show you how it works. And I'm going to put this, comment this one. Oh, I don't need to comment this one, this line, the main body, and this is the loop we have. Oh, we have now two main methods. Let me comment this one and put this here. Let me run this one. Terminal is very difficult. Make it bigger. Okay, so now it's saying enter number. So I enter 6 5 4 3. You see it's keep asking the same thing again and again. But when I enter 0, it will stop. So that's the condition. If number is not equal to 0, number is not equal to 0, then you need to stop. Otherwise keep asking and also adding these numbers. And now we just stop, and now the sum is 108. This is exactly the same thing when you go to grocery shop. This is how they're doing, but they have some keyboard shortcuts to stop it. Okay, instead of using 0 for them, they have some keyboard shortcuts. You will learn in programming 2 or programming 3 that how to use keyboard shortcuts to stop. All right, now read this program. Now let's look at this program. And that's the last slide. Okay, so let's look at this program. Let me explain this one. So this is saying int number, and we have secret. So that's initialized from 0, and that's we have 7, and attempts is 0. Okay, we're trying to predict the secret number the user have. Okay, and using while loop. Okay, so this is the condition we have. Number if is equal, number not equal to secret. Okay, the secret is 7. This loop will keep asking the number. Okay, keep asking the number, that what is your secret, what is your secret, what is your secret. Okay, this is the condition, number not equal to secret. That's mean keep asking exactly the same thing we have before. Now guess the number between 1 and 10. Okay, and then we took the number. Attempts is 0 because initially we have initialized from 0 the first attempt. And number, let's say user enter 1. 1 is less than secret. Secret is 7. 1 is less than secret. It will print too low. Okay, we have multiple conditions here. And then let's say user enters, so it's keep asking the same thing again and again. Okay, because the do while loop. And let's say we have 5. 5 less than secret is, it will again print too low. And the temps is also incrementing the temps. Now temp it is 2. Now let's say user enter 8. So this condition is false, this condition is false. 8 greater than secret, yes, 8 is greater than 7, true. And we are now print 8 is too high. Okay, now attempt 3, and let's say user enter 9. 9 greater than secret, again too high. Now attempt is 4, and we are still not there. But let's say user enter 7. Number less than equal to secret, no, false. Number greater than secret, no, false. The only thing left is that the number is equal to number. Okay, and it will print that number, that you, okay, you print that 7, and also print out the number of attempts we have. So now we have, how many attempts we have? 4. No, we on fifth attempt we correctly predict the number, that is 7. All right,